After spending our first week in Norway with our son and daughter-in-law in the rural part of the country to the east, Ian and I began our exploration of Oslo and other famous destinations in the southwest of Norway. In this video, we will show you a recap of our time in Oslo, both in the brief stay before our Norway in a Nutshell tour, and again at the end of our trip before we headed back to Texas. This is our one night in Oslo, so we're going to go a little exploring and see what we can see down in the city center. We are going into the National Theater stop because there's supposed to be lots of cool things to see and do around there. I think this statue here is for the Norwegian king from 1905 to 1957. Oh, look what we found here right by the National Theater. And the King's Palace is this massive garden of magenta flowers. I feel so at home. Now we are walking through the Palace Park, which was opened by King Oscar in 1847, 2 years before the Royal Palace was completed. The Royal Palace Oslo is the official residence of the Norwegian monarch and was completed in 1849 for King Charles III John, who actually died before it was finished. Built in a neoclassical style, it sits at the end of Oslo's main street, Karl Johans Gate, making it a central national symbol. The royal family still actually lives and works there today. Unlike many European palaces, it's relatively modest and open. Visitors can tour it in the summer, and locals freely enjoy the surrounding park year-round. And in true royal palace tradition, you can see the daily changing of the guard. Now we're going to walk down this street into the area that's supposed to be full of restaurants so that we can find something to eat. I think this is the University of Oslo. Very impressive buildings of some stature. I love all these flower planters everywhere. This is the plaza in front of the National Theater, which looks like it's currently hosting Macbeth. So this is Bjørnson, and on the front of the National Theater, they are honoring Ibsen, Holberg, and Bjørnson. And this is Henrik Ibsen. And this building is City Hall. For dinner, we are eating at this pub, which I can't pronounce the name of, but that's it. And it looks like a fun, cozy Norwegian pub. We are excited to finally try some Norwegian food specialties here in Oslo. I'm looking at getting this ost and oliven, which is mixed olives with gorgonzola and manchego cheeses with artichokes, rye bread croutons, and mango chutney. And then Ian is getting the grilled pork with baked potatoes, carrot, broccolini, Brussels sprouts, pickled red onion, and a mustard sauce. We ended up getting a bonus salad because they had run out of some of the cooked vegetables on the menu. And then we have committed to finally trying Basque cheesecake after our friend Shane Nixon from Australia has been talking about it for ages. It's great that we are able to get a bottle of tap water in Norway, and they're not like uptight countries like Germany and Austria that refuse to give you tap water. I think this is such a great idea. There's this little terminal here on the table where if you want assistance, you just click here for, I want to order food, I would like my bill, which is awesome because so often we're done eating and we're just waiting for someone to come and give us our bill or give us the chance to tell them we want our bill. Our meal was really tasty at that pub. In some ways, it was almost kind of like a British pub because they had really popular fish and chips. That's what a lot of people were ordering. They also had bangers and mash on the menu. They had a lot of British ales. They even had HP sauce in their condiment tray. But our meal was really good. I thought I was being clever ordering that starter because I didn't want to have a huge main, but it was delicious. But there was so many olives. It was like enough olives for 6 people. That's the most olives I've eaten in one sitting. I, of course, did not eat them all, probably half of them, but they were good. The cheese and everything else that came with it was really good. And Ian's meal was really delicious. The pork and the vegetables and the mustard sauce that came with the pork was particularly good. Hopefully that was authentic Norwegian. The standout of the meal was that Basque cheesecake. It was amazing. So creamy, just delightful. So, our first piece of Basque cheesecake, but definitely not our last. This is the Parliament building, which is magnificent. And this Grand Hotel is also quite grand. This is a pretty cool pirate-looking statue. Apparently, this chap's name is something like Tordenskjold. We've walked out on the pier here. It looks like there's a fortress up there on the hill. And there's a lot of really cool ships around here. We got a World War II vessel and then what looks to be a very old castle or fortress behind it. It looks like that fortress we were just looking at is the Akershus fortress. We're wandering around behind the Parliament building and saw this building, which has got some stunning paintings on it. Lots of pretty buildings around this area of town. I don't know what they all are. This beautiful building is the Nobel Peace Center. Lots of fjord cruises leave from this port. One of my favorite parts of visiting Oslo was this quiet evening stroll along the marina. It was fun to see all the boats, ships, and maritime-themed imagery along the waterfront, and other lovely art and architecture throughout the city as we walked back to catch the train. We don't have time to visit any museums on this trip, but hopefully on our next visit to Oslo. We are huge fans of this Scandi location here. It was just so convenient to stay here and had so many great perks, so we highly recommend it. We stayed at various Scandi hotels several times during our Scandinavian travels. We found them to be clean, courteous, convenient, and reasonably priced, and most offered an on-site fitness center, which is important to us. But our favorite perk was the amazing breakfast buffet. It was busy, but it was immense. A self-service assortment of food and beverages that is one of the top hotel breakfasts we have ever seen. I'll show you a recap of the vast array of food options, starting with a variety of breads. And in the cheese section, of course, we have brunost, the beloved brown cheese of Norway, along with various sliced meats and more cheese. There were hard-cooked eggs and the quirky mackerel in tomato sauce, something Norwegians love, but I would avoid any time of day, but especially at breakfast, as well as some caviar, something you'd never see on an American buffet. Now for the good stuff, freshly made Norwegian waffles and pancakes of the French crepe style, accompanied by loads of toppings. There was also iced coffee, a variety of fruit smoothies and juices, and loads of salad stuff. Something else you would not see on an American breakfast spread. Norwegians love their grøt, which is a special porridge they make. This one was served chilled with grapes. Then there was more fresh fruit, yogurt, an array of nuts, seeds, granolas, and cold cereals. On this table was appropriate toppings next to a big kettle of hot porridge. By the fried eggs, some surprising liver pate, and bacon and sausages. This bubbling vat is boiled eggs, next to scrambled eggs and egg casserole. And of course, for the Brits, some baked beans. On the dietary restriction island, they had glucose-free and lactose-free options. And I was fascinated to find kladdekaka on this buffet, a sticky chocolate cake from Sweden that I showed in our Stockholm video. From the hotel, it's just a few-minute walk to the Skøyen station, where you can take trains right into central Oslo. There are several trains running every few minutes, and you go from the Skøyen station into the National Theatre stop in just a few minutes. That's the stop we went to last night, where we saw all the beautiful architecture and went to the restaurants and the harbor. And then just a few minutes after that is the Oslo Central Station. The Oslo Central Station is also near the waterfront. From inside the railway station, you can even see cruise ships out on the sea. And leaving the station, you see a reminder that Europeans love to cycle, which Ian is also a big fan of.
Norway was very early to adopt EVs, and I believe this was a Norwegian-made car called the Buddy, which is one of the earliest electric cars ever made. The interesting thing about this car is it's so small and short that instead of parking parallel along a street, you can just back it in because it's about the width of a regular car.
One logistical necessity of full-time travel is that you need to do laundry occasionally. We try to plan our trips so that once a week we'll be in an Airbnb with a washing machine or in a big enough city to find a laundrette. All over Europe, this has never been a problem until we got to Scandinavia. Both Sweden and Norway do not have many laundromats. Thankfully, a new chain had just opened up in Oslo, so we did our own washing at Clean Coco and found a nearby let for a healthy lunch whilst we waited for our clothes to dry. Here is a quick room tour of our room at the Scandic. I won't say which Scandic it is because I can't say the name of it, but it's a Scandic here in the middle of Oslo. So after spending 3.5 hours at the laundromat, we have just arrived. So before I mess up the room, I wanted to show you, we've got a big king-size bed, but in the typical Scandinavian way. We each have our own duvet. And this is interesting. They've got these, I don't know what things. Those look like bunk beds that are in the wall, but you have to have a key to unlock them. The biggest surprise of the room is that out here is a balcony. So that's pretty cool. We are up on the 7th floor. I'll show you the bathroom real quick. Oh, this is kind of crazy. So there's the toilet and the sink, and then the shower just has this little halfway door thingy here. So we'll see how much of the bathroom we get wet when we take a shower. And we've got a little safe here and a refrigerator and an iron and a little kettle and coffee area. We are here on our last night in Norway, and we wanted to come to the part of Oslo that has these famous and iconic buildings that are so cool. So we're here next to the water looking at, this here is the Oslo Library, and it's a really beautiful building in a lovely location. This really cool opera and ballet house. In front of it is this big reflecting pond full of birds. So many gulls. This one just picked up that spoon and flew with it and then dropped it on the bench and decided it wasn't that yummy, so he's walking away from it. This is the Bjørvika area of Oslo, or something like that, since I never pronounced anything correctly. The opera house has all these slanting ramps on it that everyone's walking on. This is a really cool place to walk around, and I wonder how many people have tried skateboarding or rollerblading on these slanting surfaces everywhere. And here next to or behind the opera house is the Munch Museum, which is another iconic building here in Oslo. Here I am at the top of the opera house filming the Munch Museum. Hopefully next time on our visit to Oslo, we will go inside and check out the museum. But it is a beautiful waterfront area here and a really beautiful evening. And forgive me, but I could not resist taking this ridiculous photo next to the Munch Museum. Here is one last view of the city skyline at sunset. We are at this little neighborhood restaurant called the Kampen Bistro. Seasonal, fresh, delicious food. It's our last dinner in Norway, and Ian got this really hearty autumnal stew, and it's got brisket in it and a locally made sausage and a bunch of root vegetables and potatoes. And then I got a big piece of fish. This is hake, although in Norwegian it's called lysing. And this is what Ian's stew is called. Our first trip to Norway is coming to a close. We're about to head to the airport now and leave Norway, and it's just been a wonderful visit. We have thoroughly enjoyed our time here. We loved the forests and the lakes and the fjords and the towns and the cities as well. And we loved the food and we loved the people, and we most of all loved spending time with our family here. Here's what I'm buying to bring back home from the Duty Free shop because Weston and Milena love these. And I'm not going to be buying any freeze-dried fish. This is crazy. Can't believe someone's putting that in their carry-on bag. I'll link to a couple other videos of our Scandinavian adventures here. Thank you so much for watching this video, and do something good in the world today.